Hey, I'm Tanya, your resident behavior analyst, and I'm here to talk all things parenting. Today's topic is on bedtime routines during the summer. I have a free guide that's down below at the link. You can grab it. It has essentials to incorporate into your bedtime routine during the summer to make sure that you maintain it throughout the summer and that you can implement it effectively so that you can avoid arguing and refusals for bedtime. So let's talk about summer. You know routines are going to get thrown off. School is done, kids are at home all day, you have to deal with entertaining them, and by the time the dinner time rolls around, you're exhausted. You may be more likely to let them go out and play later because it's lighter outside, longer than usual, and you just don't really want to deal with having them inside. But as someone who deals with behavior for a living, I would recommend that you keep some kind of a schedule in place after dinner that's going to lead to bedtime. And the best thing to do is to have it consistently follow the same steps every day. This helps children understand this is the routine they have to follow, and if you do it consistently, they understand that you're going to follow through and that they don't have a choice in the matter. Now, when you're developing the schedule, you can certainly give them choices. You can let them choose what's part of the routine, and that's going to help increase their compliance with it as well. Another good reason to follow the schedule is that research shows over and over again that if you follow a schedule consistently, you're engaging in the same behaviors repeatedly, you're building a habit, and you're more likely to follow through on things and stick to the routine and engage in the routine if you do it consistently on a daily basis. A good way to ensure that you begin to develop the habit in the beginning when you're not used to it and it's something new is just to set a simple alarm on your phone. I'll talk about this a lot in the future in videos. Alarms are a big deal because if it's not part of your habit, if it's not part of your routine, it's not something that you've done consistently, and you want to build it into your routine, you're going to need reminders. There's no way you're going to remember. You have too many other things going on. So set a simple reminder. Another thing to consider is what your child is doing right before you're telling them to go to bed right now. So if they're engaging in refusals to go to bed, if they're arguing with you back and forth, if they're taking their sweet time with whatever it is you're asking them to do before bed, try to pay attention now before you start the routine to what it is that they're usually doing right before bedtime that is making it difficult for them to transition. For a lot of kids, it's going to be watching TV, it's going to be playing on tablets. Any kind of electronics are usually really difficult to transition them from. Or maybe they're playing with a really intricate toy, like you've got the wooden train tracks everywhere, you've got Legos everywhere. It's going to take a while to clean up. So maybe keep that in mind, and for the future, when you do start your routine, you kind of decide that those things are going to be removed before the bedtime routine even begins. So maybe you take them away before dinner time so you don't even have to deal with it afterwards when you want to start your routine. And guess what? You're not used to taking those things away at a certain time usually, so set an alarm. What they can play with instead is some kind of an activity that's very easy to pick up and that isn't super duper highly preferred so that it's really difficult to get them to transition from it. So whatever it is that your child loves most, that's probably not what they should be playing with right before bedtime because it's going to make it extra hard for you. So whatever it is that your child moderately prefers, it's something that they will play with but isn't really difficult to transition them from. For some kids, it's puzzles, coloring, drawing, things like that. More calm in nature and easy to pick up so you're not fighting with them for a while. The last thing to consider before putting your routine in place is how light it is where you live. If you have a small toddler and they need to go to bed between 7:30, something like that, it may still be really light outside. So maybe you want some blackout curtains, or maybe you're gonna go full throttle and put tinfoil in the windows, whatever it is to block out that light and help your toddler actually stay in bed once they're in it as well. So let's talk about an example of a bedtime routine. If you have a child that goes to bed at 7:30, I might suggest that at around 5 o'clock you do dinner. So between 5 and 6, you're going to do dinner time and then of course dishes, things like that, while your child plays with a moderately preferred activity, something like I mentioned earlier. until 6 o'clock. So between 6 and 7, you're going to do bath time, and then maybe they're playing quietly. If you have multiple children, then obviously it's going to take from 6 to 7 to do bath time. So while you're bathing other children, your child can be in their room playing quietly with those moderately preferred activities. At 7, you can do a quick potty trip, or you can do a quick sip of water if that's something they need. Try to take care of their needs before they get in bed, whatever it is they need. And then you're going to transition to the bed. In bed, you can do a book. If you're not a family that reads books, then you can play quietly with them on their bed briefly until 7:30. And then at 7:30 is lights out. So that's bedtime. We give hugs, kisses, we turn off lights, maybe we turn on night lights, and we leave. And that would be an example of a simple bedtime routine you can implement each summer night. I hope these tips were helpful. I know bedtime in general is just a difficult thing to do, especially if you have more than one child. They're very rambunctious and they get extra hyper when they're tired, and it's just difficult all around. These tips have helped the parents that I've worked with in the past, so hopefully they'll help you. Please like and subscribe below and sign up for alerts if you'd like to see future videos. Thanks. Bye.